Hi, my name is Summer, and in this video I'll be explaining the biological processes of conception and evaluate how some sperm-related conditions such as oligozoospermia, asnozoospermia, hypospermia, and hyperspermia can create complications when trying to conceive. In class, we learned the reproductive system has 4 major tasks required for conception. These tasks are forming specialized sex cells, hormonal regulation, bringing sex cells together, and combining genetic information while supporting development. I will go into further explaining each of these stages, discussing early embryonic development, and then I will connect everything to how abnormalities in sperm can affect fertility. The first stage of conception is the forming of the specialized sex cells. Gametes are specialized sex cells, such as sperm in males or ova/eggs in females. Gametes are haploids, meaning they contain one set of chromosomes. In humans, that's about 23 chromosomes. And most other cells in the body are diploids. That means they contain 2 sets of chromosomes, or 2 haploids, with a total of 46 chromosomes. Gametes must be haploids so that when fertilization occurs, the sperm and egg can combine correctly to form a diploid zygote with 46 chromosomes. If gametes were to be a diploid instead of a haploid, the chromosome number would double with each generation, and it wouldn't be compatible for our normal development as humans. In males, sperm is produced through spermatogenesis in the semi-inferior tubules of the testes. Sperm are continuously produced after puberty, but they're not mature when first formed. In females, eggs are produced through oogenesis, and women are born with all of their eggs that they will ever have. At birth, females have about 1 to 2 million oocytes, which is immature eggs. After puberty, this number decreases to about 300 to 400,000, and it continues to decrease throughout their entire life. On average, females ovulate 1 egg per menstrual cycle. The average menstrual cycle lasts about 28 days, although it can vary. Once an egg is released during ovulation, it has a short lifespan of about 12 to 24 hours. If it's not fertilized during that time, the egg basically disappears. If the woman wants to measure their estimate egg count in their ovarian reserve, they can take a test called AMH, which is anti-Müllerian hormone. Hormones play a critical role in regulating reproduction. In females, ovaries produce estrogen, progesterone, and it regulates the menstrual cycle and prepares the uterus for pregnancy. We also have the luteinizing hormone, which triggers ovulation to release an egg from the ovary. But for males, this stimulates the production of testosterone, which supports sperm development. We also have the follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulates follicle maturation in females, but it supports sperm production in males. We then have sperm transport, it's basically the third stage of conception. It involves the sperm traveling through a series of ducts in order to mature and be delivered. The sperm is produced in the semi-inferior tubulus, but then from there it moves to the epididymis, where it's stored and it matures and gains motility, which is the ability to swim. During ejaculation, sperm will travel through the vas deferens, then enter the ejaculatory duct, which then fluid from the seminal vessels and prostate gland are added. These fluids will help nourish and transport the sperm. finally, the sperm will exit the body through the urethra, which is part of the urinary and reproductive system. Male also have a scrotum, which plays an important part in their temperature regulation. Their scrotum will move further away from their body if it's too hot, and then closer to their body if it's too cold, in order to make sure that the sperm's temperature maintains like its peak. The best for the sperm production, best temperature for the sperm production. Sexual response is controlled by the nervous system. The erections from the parasympathetic system, while ejaculation is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. What else? Lastly, we have fertilization. Fertilization occurs when sperm successfully penetrates an egg. Sperm has three main parts: head, midpiece, and tail. The head contains enzymes such as acrosomes, which help them penetrate the egg. The midpiece contains the mitochondria, which provides the force in order for the tail to swim. Like, it provides the force to penetrate the egg. The egg is surrounded by a thick protective layer called the zona pellucida. During the fertilization, the acrosome reaction occurs, which releases the enzymes that break down the zona pellucida so the sperm can penetrate the egg. When the haploid sperm and the haploid egg fuse, their genetic material combines and they form the diploid zygote, which has 46 chromosomes. After fertilization, the zygote begins development through the process called cleavage, which calls rapid division without growth. 36 hours is the blastomeres. The second day, they'll do the 4-cell stage. Day 3, it'll be a clump of cells, which is the morels. It's a solid ball of cells. Day 4 to 5, the embryo will become the blastocyst. The blastocysts contain inner cell mass, which develops into the embryo. The trophoblast will also go ahead and start to develop around the blastocyst. It's the outermost, thickest layer. That is the layer that will implant into the uterine wall and eventually forms the placenta. Implantation typically occurs around day 6 to 7 after fertilization. Normal sperm with proper structure, motility, and count. Normal sperm's motility is about 30 to 40%, and a normal sperm count is about 5 to 15 million sperm per milliliter. Semen consists of mostly seminal fluid, which is about 70 to 75%, which protects and nourishes the sperm. Normal sperm semen is also grayish and cloudy. Abnormal semen is red, brown, yellow, or green. If your abnormal semen shows up and you see that, you probably should go seek medical help and your healthcare provider. Normal semen volume ranges from 1.5 to 5 milliliters, or the viscosity of the semen refers to how thick it is. Like, your semen should be normal, but then if the viscosity in your semen isn't normal, say it's too thick in the semen, it'll actually make it so it's harder for the sperm to swim. That leads to our fertility complications. Our first one is oligozoospermia. It's the condition of low sperm count. Then we have asnozoospermia, which is reduced sperm motility. With both of these are poor, or you have this condition, it will make it difficult for it to travel through the ducts. Both of these conditions make it difficult because with low sperm count and reduced sperm mobility, with less sperm, it would be harder to travel through the ducts to reach the egg, but with reduced sperm mobility, it would be hard for them to even move to swim towards the egg in general. And then we have the other two, hypospermia, which involves low semen volume, which is typically less than 1.5 milliliters. This can reduce the total number of sperm delivered and make an issue with the seminal fluid. If there's low semen volume, that means there's less semen to protect and nurture the sperm, and makes it so they basically don't survive in the female reproductive tract. Hypospermic is like high seminal volume, which it basically dilutes the sperm concentration, decreasing the potential motility and the function of the sperm, decreasing the likelihood of the sperm reaching the egg efficiently. All these conditions disrupt the normal stage of conception. Hormonal imbalances interfere with LH regulation or sperm production, such as abnormal sperm production, low viscosity, low mobility, can affect how it transports through the ducts, or the ability to even reach the oocyte. If sperm cannot complete or perform effectively, such as the acrosomal reaction, the fertilization can't occur because it won't be able to penetrate the egg. Without fertilization, there won't be a healthy diploid zygote to form, thus preventing any early embryonic development because there's no zygote and there's no fertilization. In conclusion, I think that successful conception requires the proper reproduction, like gamete production, hormonal regulation, sperm transportation, mobility, and all developments are important, and the conditions, if you have a condition, it disrupts the process of fertility greatly. And I really hope I taught somebody something today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.